Hey guys, Marcel here from OnVisor, and I'm here with Jen Legier, co-founder at QUBER. And I found it interesting to bring Jen on for an interview because they're developing, or just launched, sorry, a very interesting app for your finances, and I'll let her explain what they're up to. And I wanted to talk a little bit about saving and how technology can really help out with your savings, and by the looks of it, even make savings a little bit fun and interesting.
That's
so
right.
Welcome, Jen.
Thank you very much.
What have you guys been up to lately?
Yeah, so we just launched our mobile app that helps people save and manage their money. It's called QUBER, Q-U-B-E-R. It's in the Android and Apple stores, and basically the app was taken from the concept of the old saving jars, when people used to take their change and put it into a jar.
Yeah.
So
isolate each issue or whatever.
Each goal that you can have, it could be small like a pair of shoes, or it could be bigger like a trip that you want to take.
Awesome.
So you can create multiple goals in our tool, and then you can digitally decide how you want to move money into your goals. So it can be just as easy as doing a one-time transfer of money. It could be taking your change every time you make a digital transaction. So you go to Starbucks, buy your coffee, you can take your change and put it into a jar.
Like the round up option type thing?
Round up.
Okay.
Every time you get a paycheck deposited, you can take a percentage of your paycheck.
Systematic.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one of the cool things that we have, and this is really to help people kind of manage their money, we're introducing challenges. So it's a little bit of a gamification play.
Yes.
So to start, so we have lots of ideas for all kinds of different challenges, but the first one we have is called the budget challenge.
Right.
So really what that is to help people kind of curb their spending. So if you're doing some impulse spending, some people kind of, I'm one of them, blow my money, right? Make dumb decisions. So it's really to kind of put in your face, say, hey, you're spending this much per month on this
Did you realize you put this much on clothes?
Exactly.
Or whatever? Yeah.
So then we challenge them, spend less.
Yeah.
And then money that you normally would have spent, we put it into one of their goals.
That's so cool, because I've been on this huge trend, and anybody who's sat down with me as a client lately is I've kind of isolated two types of budgeting, and you bring up, and it seems like this challenge illustrates what I call the second gear of budgeting, which is I call it intentional budgeting, meaning there's informational budgeting, which is just, hey, this is what you spent last month.
Exactly.
Which is like, okay, cool, but if you don't shift it into the second gear, meaning I'm gonna intentionally sift through those spendings and figure out where am I going wrong and make improvements, you're just a sitting duck. Like, it's fine to say, oh, well, I spent $750 on clothes last month. Looks like next month I'm gonna do the same. Like, whoa. Does that really make, do you have 10 grand to spend on clothes a year, or don't you, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think for me anyway, I would use those budgeting tools that kind of told me, okay, here's where you spent last month. But for me, it was like, okay, well, that was a bad decision, but that was last month, and I didn't really do anything about it, right? Yeah, this is a new month. And so really what we're trying to do is show people in the moment.
Right, live.
Right?
Well, and when it's in your phone, like your app is, it's I don't know how often you have your phone in your hands, but mine is there pretty often.
Exactly.
If I see it, I reach for it, which is a bad habit, but try to curb that one too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about yourself and how you guys ended up creating QUBER, and then we'll go into how an app like QUBER or others we might stumble on can help people saving their money. So what's been your experience with saving money? You kind of started into that, but let's get right into that.
Yeah. So for me, I've always just kind of made bad decisions. Like, I've always had my RRSP. So when I started working, my company had the RRSP plan. I always went into that. So
So the
yes,
default,
I have that.
Yes.
It just kind of happened, and I didn't have to think about it. Yeah.
And the passive stuff.
Right. But then with the rest of my money, I always pay my bills and stuff, but I never really put money aside for saving. So I would just kind of spend what I had, right?
Yeah. And then you're like, where'd it go?
Where did it go? And the issue is that if an emergency comes up, right? Then what do you do?
The unexpected, oh, I didn't save for my property taxes, or oh, right, the hockey camp or whatever. Yeah.
Or like, hey, I have $1,000 for this vacation, but in fact, after the vacation's done, it actually costs $1,500. Then you have $500 on your credit card that you have to pay off. So it was easy to get into that mode of borrowing on the credit card, and then eventually it can kind of take over.
The repay versus prepay. Cycle, if you will.
So when we started looking at it, I mean, this isn't a problem just for me. I mean, it's a common problem, right? So what the idea was really to help people kind of bring their money into their everyday thought process, right? So whether it's through notifications, contextual moments, like, hey, you just bought a coffee, did you know you're 50% on the way to your budget? So we tell
notifications,
reminders and notifications, and then the challenges. People like games. People like to be challenged.
Gamification is huge, and especially when it comes to finances, I think it's going to be probably the biggest shift in finance going forward will be gamification, and people patting themselves on the back for a job well done and feeling good, getting that little bit of dopamine every now and then.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely think that's okay. Cool. So has technology always played a big part of your personal finances? Have you always used tools in a way or another?
That's a good question. So I've always been into technology, graduated with computer science, so I am that technical side person. But as far as like for money, yes, I'm always on the trends, spending digitally. I never have cash anymore on me. So as far as spending, I found that the ways that you could spend money was very advanced technology, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It made it easier and easier to spend
avenues,
money.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
As far as saving, I haven't used as many, so I have tried some, but again, the ones that kind of just show you where you spent didn't work for me, right? Some people are very disciplined and it works for them. For me, it didn't work.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And actually going out and doing a budget, I know this from experience, with my background as an advisor, and people don't do budgets. Like they don't build a spreadsheet or even download one. It's so hard to get somebody to actually do a budget. It's so hard. People
are just so busy too, right? They just don't take the time to do it.
Or the perception is it'll take something away that they like.
Yes.
It's like Starbucks. Like, don't take away my Starbucks. I know it's going to be a big line in my budget. Do not screw around with that line. But, I don't think, that's necessary. But technology can probably identify other places that you could subsidize your coffee drinking habits.
Exactly. So it could be coffee. Maybe some people can't give up coffee, but they can give up food. One of the things for me is I get rewards when I spend money on my credit card, right? So I use my credit card still for those things.
For everything.
But now through QUBER, the app sees those rewards coming in, and as soon as I get them, I save them.
Right.
So I have a rule, automatically it takes that money and puts it into a jar. So there's different ways that work for different people, right?
Yeah, that's excellent. I like that. So how did you kind of talked about this a little bit, but how did the idea for QUBER come up, like specifically? Like when was it, when did the light go off?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So the whole idea actually came from donating, actually.
All right.
Yeah. So
was there a pivot at some point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was, first of all, okay, take your digital change and donate it, which I still like that idea. We have a donation section in our app as well, so I hope people will also use it for giving money.
Yeah.
But then when we started looking, we're like, well, what else could people do with their change? What else could we do with this? And that's when we started to really dive into the whole money management, personal finance. What is it about the tools that are out there that aren't helping people, or why are people still looking for tools? Like they haven't found what they're looking for, kind of thing.
That's right. Was there anything like QUBER at the time when you guys decided to go into this?
Yeah, no.
So
at the time there was nothing. We had done research. There was budgeting tools, right?
But nothing to isolate and properly plan your your buckets.
That's right.
Yeah, or jars.
Yeah, there was no like idea of kind of that taking your digital change. Now there are a few, but at the time when we first started, we did research, global research, and didn't find anything. Fintech wasn't really a thing when we first started. Huge. Right? Now fintech is exploding. Which is great because the financial institutions are actually looking to partner with startups. Do pilot projects with startups. So for us, that's great news.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. So why do some people, let's call it most people, have such a hard time saving money? Like, why is it so darn hard for most people to actually have a savings plan and save even for the little things?
Yeah. I think it's just that it's so easy to spend, and again, it's like it's something that's not on the top of your mind, so you kind of have your credit card or your watch or whatever, and you just go buy things, and then at the end of the month, it's just kind of gone.
You deal with whatever's there.
Yeah.
So I think so basically, mostly it's just a habit.
I think it's a habit.
Negligence in a sense that you just choose to not really learn or look into it or go deeper, or just the fact that it's not taught in schools. It's not, education overall is causing a lot of the problems.
Oh yeah, like I actually, it's funny that you say that. So I have 2 kids.
How old are
they? 9 and 7.
Okay.
And so my kids say, "Mommy, I want this," and I say, "No, I don't have the money to buy you that." And they say, "Well, just use your card."
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right?
Go to the machine there and take the money out.
Yeah, like it's even going to be worse for them because they have absolutely no concept. They truly believe that money is like
made of
plastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So to bring them, that's the next thing. Like we really want to start getting something out there for kids so that kids can start learning. Okay, I want this, but this is how much it costs, and I need to do my chores or do whatever it is.
Yeah,
and
there definitely could be like a trust model, but so obviously you guys have to think of the compliance and stuff. But that'd be awesome for even the parent to maybe be the main holder, but to have kind of a link out to. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be super
then they
cool.
learn.
Then they can, they might, at that age, some of them have phones and their own iPads, whatever, so they can say, oh, well, I'm this much to my video game, or I'm this close. So that would be super awesome.
Yeah.
Super, especially for education. Yeah. So what would be some of the common misconceptions about saving money? So you guys would have done quite a bit of research up front to know, and that's probably why you found out that, donating is only one small part of what this could be. Mm-hmm. So what have you heard when interviewing people, as far as misconceptions about saving money? So what did you hear, well, that's not really true?
I think one of the things that really has come out is that it doesn't matter, what your income is, right?
Yeah.
People think, if you make a lot of money, then you have a lot of money, you don't need to worry about it. But actually it's not the case. People spend what they have.
Yeah, it's a habit thing, and it's a percentage thing. 100% of 50 grand is the exact same as 100% of 250 grand.
That's right.
It's 100%. And people have that perception of, it's kind of like that victim mindset. It's like, well,
I deserve.
Yeah, I deserve, or the reason I can't is because I don't have whatever, that salary. Thinking
that's right.
Well, if I made 250 grand next year, I'd stay in my small house and I'd keep driving my paid off 10-year-old car. And it's like, no, you wouldn't.
And it's so true, but I mean, I've made those stupid choices too, right?
Yeah.
I'm the same.
We're all guilty in our own.
I got a raise, now I can go get this or get this bigger car, or get this, right? And it's like, you don't really need it.
Yeah, wants versus need is one of the biggest things, especially when it comes to saving. Want versus need. Like we're talking about the things we spend. We talked about shopping and buying clothes, or there's the unexpected. But there's also not planning for the should be expected.
Yes.
At some point in the year you have to go back to school shopping.
That's right.
So, and this app would be save for it. Like Christmas, perfect example.
Christmas is a great example.
Great example. if you know you spend about $1,000 at Christmas,
yeah,
open up an account or download QUBER.
Create a QUBER jar.
Create a QUBER jar and say Christmas, and then you just either round up your change, or you say every time or is there I love the concept of taxing yourself for bad habits. So is there a way you can tax yourself on bad habits? So let's say we say I shouldn't be going to Starbucks every now and then, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I shouldn't go to restaurants, and you're trying to curb that habit. Can you tax yourself based on if you go or do a certain thing?
Yeah, so that's one of the yes, that's one of the ones that we've heard people ask for. So we have people asking for these kind of challenges or rules a lot, and now that we have the platform in place, it's easy for us to add on these kind of cool features. Yeah. So that's definitely one that we've heard, and even I like that one.
Yeah, that one's cool. Super cool. So like you set a rule, every time I go to Starbucks, put an extra $5 in my kid's account or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, tax yourself. So, so other than QUBER, what do you see, or other than expanding what you guys are already doing, is there any other apps or technology that you think will help people with their finances, or even save money? Like, obviously this is a huge step for what was there before you guys, but have you guys thought or seen anything down the pipe that will help people with saving money?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like maybe artificial intelligence, stuff like that?
And that's the sort of thing that we want to bring in too. So exactly what you were just saying, you know, people are spending on Christmas and this and that. We want to be able to learn for those people. Right. So I think the big part is that people don't know, or people don't have time to think about it. So if they had a tool that said, hey, you know, we know you're going to buy winter tires this winter. So create a goal, and we know that you need them by this point, so here's what you need to do. Add these rules, and you'll have your winter tires by that point.
That's right. Artificial intelligence could really go and sift, and easily, because it's so flippin' powerful now, that you could easily sift through your expenses and say, hey, what was this big random expense? Yeah. How often, because I was doing a budget with one of my clients yesterday, just helping her out and, you know, teaching her a little bit of the intentional versus the informational, and showing her how to do it, because she probably wasn't going to do it on her own. And I was thinking of that. She was like, well, this $400 is for a year's supply, and this $800, you know, is winter tires, but they're going to do me 3 years. So to have something tell you, hey, this was a big unexpected purchase, how often does this repeat?
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
And then start saving for it. So
and
it's like little buckets that you,
You gotta create a jar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, listen, I wish you guys the best of luck. Is there anything else that people should know about QUBER, or how to find it, or how have you found people have been using it? Actually, that's an interesting question.
It's interesting. So some people are using it for the cash. So there's two sections to it. There's the cash flow, which shows your money in, money out.
Yeah.
So some people are using it for that, and then we have a lot of people who are using it for the saving jars. It's amazing, some people, how much they're, you know, into it and putting money in every day. We've had people ask, like, can you add a rule that every time I spend money, no matter where it is, to put money into the jar? So it's another thing we're looking at.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think the next big thing for us is to add in those recommendations, so that
listen to your,
it's just like a click of a button,
listen to your crowd, or even be able to have some kind of platform to create them yourselves and go and design them, right? But obviously it's a lot harder than we all think it is, because you guys have been in development for what you said, 2 years?
Yeah,
or over 2 years?
Yeah, it will have been 2 years this summer. So,
close.
it's been a lot of work for sure. There's a lot going on in the background that people don't see.
Yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours.
Yeah, we have
traveling and questioning and the learning, and absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, the reason I think an app like QUBER is so interesting is, one tip I've told many people about, and one thing I think most people should do, is people should log into their online banking once a day. Just scroll, like just open your Visa, open your checking account, look at your mortgage balance, look at your car loan balance. Like, just have a once over every business day. Don't go Saturdays and Sundays, that's fine. But an app like QUBER would, you know, now that I know that it has the budgeting aspect, with those reminders and with those notifications comes at least a partial, you know, once a day or twice a day, but at least once a day, look at where am I at with my savings goals, where did I spend money, where am I at with my coffee spending, you know, limits and restaurant limits, etc. So it really ties in well with a lot of financial planning that you really don't get anywhere. Banks aren't really doing it for you because they don't get paid to do it. Advisors such as myself don't really do it to the extent they should be doing it. A lot of them will say that it's part of what they offer, but really, when's the last time you went to a financial advisor or an institution and haven't talked about product specifically, right? You go in, you talk about the loan. You go in, you talk about the RSP. You go in and talk about your investments because that's what people get paid for.
That's right.
To sell or to manage. So nobody really tackles this the way you guys have tackled this, and I think it's great. So I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming on. And if you guys have any questions, I'll have Jen's link up on there to the website and to the app in the comments or in the note section below. So until next time, guys, cheers.
See you. Thank you.